Hi, everyone. Today I'm joined by a special guest, a friend of mine, fitness coach, fitness influencer, fitness trainer, partner at Fight Camp also, and a good friend of mine, Aaron. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
So today I want to talk about personal brand, your business, the fitness industry in general. But I guess it makes sense to start where I met you, which is through a friend of mine, Khalil Zar, the founder of Fight Camp, which is a peloton for boxing. You guys make trainings for boxing online at home. So how did you join the company, and what was your background before joining the company?
Cool. So how far do you want me to go back?
Maybe the mid-long story.
Okay. So about 18 years ago, I started kickboxing. And I was going to community college and didn't know what I wanted to do. I was pretty lost. I was 19 years old. And my dad said, "Hey, why don't you go into this kickboxing school?" I met the owner and he was such a cool guy.
Right.
And for whatever reason, I listened to my dad and went to this kickboxing school. And I fell in love with kickboxing. And I really adored the owner, Kyle McElroy. And I thought to myself, I want to be like that guy.
Yeah.
So from that point forward, I dropped out of school. I was waiting tables. wanted to become a trainer, and I started competing. So I was actively fighting, and then I started working at Valley Total Fitness, trying to learn how to become a trainer, faking it until I make it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Making like $12 an hour.
That's good.
And then later I moved downtown Chicago. I started working with this company called LA Boxing. And that was the first time in my life where I was able to teach for a living full time without a side hustle.
Wow.
And for 7 years with that company, I got to teach like 40, 50 sessions a week. And I really got my 10,000 hours in to become masterful at teaching. During that duration, I had a fight in California, and I fell in love with California. And I'm like, my goal in life is to move to California. That's all I want to do.
Yeah.
8 years later, I'm 28 or 29 years old. I take the leap and I move to California. Don't have anything lined up, no job, nothing planned. And I just hit the ground running.
Burning the boat.
Exactly. Working at like 12 different gyms, doing in-homes, trying to make a name for myself. One of the gyms that I worked at was a gym called Box Union in Santa Monica. Box Union did like 40-person classes that was to the beat of the music. Think like Soul Cycle.
Oh, yeah. I know those.
And it was a huge growing point for me because I didn't know anything about music, choreography, mindfulness, building an arc to your playlist. So I had to learn all of that, but it was so rewarding. While I was there, Tommy Duquette, who's partners with Khalil, slid into my DMs and goes, "Hey, we're doing this new thing. We're going to come check out your class and tell you about it." So he drives down, does my Box Union class, and afterwards he's like, "Yeah, we're doing this thing. We'll pay you to film these classes. We want to do it online." And I'm thinking, you seem like a cool dude. He's a boxer. We were cut from the same cloth, And I'm like, "Oh yeah, sure." So then they would come down to Box Union and they would rent space at Box Union.
Oh, yeah.
And they would ghetto rig it. They'd put up a curtain in a bag, and they had the camera set up, and we have people taking the classes. And I was like, cool, this is kind of cool. I didn't think anything of it.
I was there for one of those.
At Box Union?
Maybe not that one, but Buck's House.
Yeah.
And then Khalil was DJing also, doing the music in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Khalil is a CEO. He used to DJ. All of the execs and co-founders would have their own roles.
Yeah.
And I didn't think anything of it. I just thought it was a cool side hustle. Meanwhile, I am committed to opening up my own gym in LA. That was my goal.
All right. You were already having a business at that time.
At that time, when I met them, I was working at Box Union and developing my personal training business.
Yeah.
But about a year into that, I left Box Union. I opened up my first gym in Santa Monica.
Wow.
So I was running my own gym, and then I would hustle down and film in Newport now at Box House.
Yeah.
With Khalil and those guys once a month.
Yeah.
But my real focus was my gym.
Oh, wow.
And then I went through this whole endeavor with the gym, which we can get into.
Yeah. So, okay, so you already have experience doing gym and training and coaching before. So what was the shift from doing that to going to perhaps doing training in front of millions of people or online, which is a different medium? Is there a big transition for you to go from there to online?
Well, the transition was COVID.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So I was in the
Big deal.
process of expanding to a bigger gym,
Yeah.
and we were doing the build out and COVID hit,
Uh-huh.
and I was able to get out of the lease. Thank God.
Oh yeah.
And I called Tommy up because I didn't know what I was going to do. I'm like, hey, what's going on? Can I get more involved with Viking?
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, we are blowing up.
Yeah. At the time, it was crazy.
Everyone was,
Yeah.
Fight Camp scaled tremendously fast because everyone was doing in-home fitness.
Yes. And fitness at the time, all the gym were going down and these guys were blowing up also. So that must have been like not a coincidence, but the perfect timing.
It really was a blessing.
Yeah.
So they offered me a great salary,
Mm-hmm.
and I sold all my stuff, and I moved down to Orange County, and I worked with Fight Camp for the last 4 years full time.
Mm-hmm. Wow. And like creating those videos, is this like that much different from what you were doing before? Did you have to learn a lot on the job, or this was like second nature for you and just going like nothing happened?
You know, what's interesting is before it blew up, it was second nature for me. I didn't think anything of it. But then once I started realizing there's tens of thousands of people watching at that time,
Yeah.
I was like a little nervous at first.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's presenting in front of all those people, you have to look clean, look the par, and also be like clear what you're saying.
And now we're talking real money
Yeah.
and real viewers, and
Yeah.
it was a real thing. And so then we started bringing in like acting coaches.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a woman named Cassie Piasecki who was managing all the coaches. And it was like we were really leveling up because we were putting the work in.
Yeah.
With these acting coaches and stuff. And I learned a ton about being on camera from that as well.
So you have to learn how to act in front of the camera. It's not just coaching. You also learn how to act and present yourself.
You know, the best thing that I learned from that experience is the best way to be on camera is to be authentic.
Yeah.
To be yourself, be flawed,
It's the same
be
thing.
natural,
Yeah.
be vulnerable.
Yeah.
So don't sit up straight. Don't, you know what I mean? Just be yourself.
Mm.
And it translates.
Your personality translates.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what they taught you when doing the coaching acting?
Yeah.
Really? Wow. I would thought that there's a method or something to be taught, but no, just do whatever you want and be yourself.
Be yourself and be extra vulnerable.
So how do you do that though?
Well, like now, if I'm doing social media, right?
Yeah.
Couple tricks I have is if you're looking at yourself in the camera, like you have the, you know, it's facing you, so you're looking at yourself, it's hella awkward.
Yeah.
Your mannerisms change, like
Yeah.
you're just like not being authentic.
Yeah.
So I flip the phone around, A,
Mhm.
so I'm not looking at myself.
Okay.
And B, I try to talk to the camera like I'm talking to my dad.
Yeah.
Like literally, if I were to send my dad a video, this is how I would want it to be.
Mhm.
And that translates.
Yeah.
You can't put on this like facade, trying to say all the right things.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't.
Yeah. Okay, so when you see that like that many people watches your stuff, does it help also? Like, did you have also your brand on the side? Were you still doing some training on the side, or you were like completely full blown on Fight Camp? Like, how it helped you like getting more clients with your previous business, if any?
At first, there was a transitional period where I was still training some people and then driving to OC, but then I moved to OC and I
Yeah.
gave up my personal business completely.
Okay, so you went full
Full-time, 40 hours a week from 9 to 5, I was at Fight Camp.
right.
And that had some blessings in my personal life.
Yeah.
Not business-wise, because for the first time, I had this time and energy to figure out what I like to do outside of work.
Yeah,
That was the first time in my life.
right.
I had nights off, weekends off, all this job security.
Yeah.
And that was like, honestly, the biggest takeaway from that experience, which I'm forever grateful for.
Because otherwise with your business, you always have to be on, you're always working, always doing something. But now you have kind of a revenue stream all the time. So it's kind of a blessing, but at the same time, maybe it gets comfortable a little bit.
For sure, bro. And the longer I stayed there, the harder it was for me to take the leap to go back to doing, to being an entrepreneur.
Right.
It was I had always been an independent contractor for the last like 15 years
Yeah.
working for myself. So I didn't know any different.
Yeah.
4 years into that, I was humbled by how nervous I was
Yeah.
to go back to being an entrepreneur.
It's like your salary is a drug at some point. You cannot get off of it. Like if you stop getting a salary, you don't know what to do anymore. Even though before you were fine without it, like you're always managing to find the money, but now getting back in that train is kind of difficult.
It was wild because I was nervous about like getting customers again, getting clients again.
Yeah.
I had proven to myself time and time again, I can do it.
Yeah.
But when I was at Fight Camp, I was nervous. I was nervous to leave.
Yeah. But now what's happening is you're still a partner in Fight Camp. You're still working with them. And you made what, at least 100 to 100 videos, maybe more, 500? Thousands of videos, yeah. So you have that library of content. Can you still like use that or leverage that for your current business? Because now you're gonna still partner with Fight Camp, but you're also managing your own thing more and more now.
I don't know if I can necessarily leverage the content per se, but so I left Fight Camp full time about 7 months ago.
Right.
And I told them that I would still like to film classes with them. I go down 1 day a week and I film classes, but I'm not doing any of the other stuff. So I moved back to Venice Beach because this is like home to me. It's so electric here and the energy and everything.
It's a fitness place.
It's what?
It's such a fitness hub also.
It is.
Yeah.
And I hit the ground running, starting all over again. What I did find is I have had a fair amount of people come and train with me in person. Whether they already lived in LA or they're traveling through and they want to link up with me to do a session. Also, I've done some personalized programs for people online because I put that out there. So some of the Fight Camp users reached out to me about doing that.
Yeah.
But I haven't really been able to monetize on that as much.
Right. So how do you transition from Fight Camp to your own business? How do you see, I'm sure personal brand is a big thing in the fitness industry or any industry whatsoever. So how do you kind of view that? Like how much involvement you put in that, in content per se, versus just finding clients, doing your training and like do what an old trainer would do before the internet?
So when I moved back here, I was running space at this gym and I was just putting up some posts. I ran a couple ads, not a lot of money, a couple $100.
On Facebook or what?
Instagram. And didn't have much success with it, but I put very little money into it.
Right.
It was mostly like me hitting up old clients. Hey, I'm back. Putting up some reels. I'm back, yada, yada, yada. And had a fair amount of success with it. Not much though, right?
Right.
And then I had a epiphany of like, it didn't feel right doing sales with people that were like on the fence and I'm like hitting them up relentlessly. I felt like a car salesman.
Yeah.
I'm like, this doesn't feel right. So then I'm like, how do I get new customers? So what I did is I thought to myself, okay, there's all these organizations in Venice Beach, like Venice Run Club, different gyms, right? I go on their Instagram and I look at their following and I literally just go through their following and I DM like 50 people per day. Hey, I started this new boxing program in Venice. Is this something you'd be interested in? I'll send you a link for a free class.
Yeah.
And it has worked so unbelievably to the point where I have zero fear about ever running a brick and mortar business again.
Wow. You just leverage the audience of another business or you partner with them.
Yes. Luckily, my page has some credibility. Like I have a verification, I have really good content. Because through Fight Camp, I was able to train like some famous fighters, make some relationships with some famous people and great athletes. So when they go to my page, there's great content. You need to have that.
So how much good content matters?
It really matters because if I didn't have good content and I'm DMing these people and they go back to my page and it's whatever, they're not going to respond.
So what is good content then?
To me, it's like engaging, it's short, it shows that you're masterful in your industry. It's got to be sexy and it's got to be engaging.
Okay, so if I'm a new fitness trainer right now, like what would be the top 3 style of video you would say you should do that to gain some authority or gain some momentum in your personal brand?
Number one, do collaborations with people that are really impressive in their field.
Yeah.
Okay, so find an athlete that's sick, train them for free, and ask if they'll do a collab with you. So you get exposure to their audience.
So you leverage their audience again. Yeah.
Number two is also leveraging their audience, because whenever I'm doing stories, it's not necessarily for my audience. I'm doing stories to tag you. So you repost it on your story. So now I'm leveraging your audience again.
Right. So now it becomes kind of a loop.
Yes. Number three is make your content blend of short, engaging videos, 15-second videos with trending audio, and showing that you are educated. So like share a lot of wisdom, share a lot of free game as well. Do a little bit of both.
So what do you share on Instagram? What do you share in the reel versus stories? Is there any differences, or you do the same thing?
I save my reels for any content that's fire. I don't post like mediocre content on my reels, because when I'm reaching out to these people and they go back to my page, I want them to see how sick I am.
Right. So you curate a lot your reels, but on story, you may be using that just as...
I'm using that as a funnel for my clients to repost and casual, mediocre content that I don't really care that much about.
Right. So that's what you do to find clients then. You just leverage other people's audience and you make collab so that they can repost, and then it creates a loop all the time.
Exactly. And it's worked unbelievably. About 3 months ago, I started renting space at a new gym called Deuce in Venice.
Yeah.
The community in this gym is unbelievable. I'm a member of their gym, strength and conditioning.
Yeah.
The owner is highly successful entrepreneur who you should talk to. His name is Logan. I really look up to him. And he bought that whole plot of land. He's very, very successful.
Okay.
And it's like a CrossFit-esque type of gym.
Yep. Yep.
He said, Aaron, would you want to rent space to start your boxing program here? Pay me $2,000 a month. And I was like, thought about it. And I'm like, all right, this feels right. It's a great way for me to start growing without all the overhead and build out of a brick and mortar.
Yeah.
So that was 3 months ago. Within those 3 months, I've gotten 172 people to come through and do a session with me. 172 different individuals.
Is that because you're in that gym, or because of the initiative you've been doing online?
Because of the online initiative, mostly.
Oh, wow. Wow. And like, how much time you put in that? Like, how much work you have to do every day or every week to get those people?
It goes through phases. It's kind of intuitive, like based on how busy I am in my class capacity.
Yeah.
So last couple of weeks, I was crushing. I couldn't do it in another session. I was actually exhausted, thinking, how do I scale this now? Because I'm already burnt out.
Exactly.
And then this last week was a little bit slower. I don't think it's because Coachella and Easter, whatever. It was like just slower.
Yeah.
So took that time, and I spent a couple hours yesterday, a couple hours the day before, whenever I have free time, DMing people. And today I had 40 people come in this morning.
Wow.
So I'm telling you, it's like, it's a cheat code.
Yeah. Leveraging people's audience is kind of very key. Very key. So how much, you're talking about content and making those 3 types of content, like how much quality of content matters? Meaning like how much production you need? Like, do you need like good sound, good visuals, or it's more like the value of the content that matters?
Good question. I mean, I was talking to you. I don't have a Canon. I don't have a camera.
Yeah.
I do everything on my iPhone.
Right.
I do have this mic, which I use rarely.
It's so good though.
I should start using it more.
Yeah.
Most of my content is mitt-work videos.
Right.
So it doesn't really apply. I just need a really sick athlete.
Yeah.
And, I don't really care that much about the lighting, and I just want fire 15-second clips displaying a great athlete.
And you do it yourself? Like you just capture with your phone? And
I go, hey, Joe, you got a minute? Can you film for me? Give him my phone. And he's like, I'm like, make it dynamic and make it sexy. And he's like, what does that mean? I'm like, just move a little bit.
Simple.
That's it.
Yeah. People over-complexify what they need to do, and just your phone, and you just hit record, and that's it. It works.
Facts.
Yeah.
You just have to. People are so scared to put out content unless it's perfect.
Yeah.
But the irony is, like we talked about earlier, it's You want it to be flawed. It shows humility, authenticity, and all of those things. That's the content that people want.
Yeah.
They want to watch Mike Tyson eat a quarter of shrooms on a podcast and act like a fucking goofball. Right?
That's true. Yeah.
They want to watch Conor McGregor out on a yacht drinking whiskey, acting like a fool. That's the kind of content people want. They want to see authenticity.
Yeah.
They don't want to see this. Like professional, like, you know what I mean? Depending on your lane.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I agree. And it also depends on, like, there's so many competition out there. So if you want to stand out, you have to be yourself. You have to find your voice. You have to be authentic. Otherwise, you won't get people to say, yeah, I prefer that guy over this guy. Like, if they can connect with you or differentiate what's the value you bring from someone else, they won't decide to go with you.
And here's what I've noticed in myself. It's normal for me to put out content and then be self-conscious. It's normal.
Yeah.
So when I put up a video, and there's been a million times I put up a video and then I've taken it down.
Yeah, I was going to ask, have you ever deleted a video?
All the time.
Yeah.
I still do.
Yeah.
So, but what I have to remind myself is if you can resonate with one person, that's all you need.
Yeah.
It's just like one more client, one more. You don't need everyone to love you.
Yeah.
You just need one. If you get one person per reel or story or whatever that you touch, it's worth it. And you have to have the confidence to just kind of surrender into who you are and own it.
At some point, it just becomes second nature. You just post, you wake up in the morning, you just make a story or whatever, you post it. And if it's not good, you can always like just delete it later. Like you curate I'm sure you're great on Instagram also.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you remove like one video, if it's not good, then you left all the best ones so that when people go on your profile, they follow you, they message you and so on.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's cool.
But it's a learning curve to get past the point of caring so much what people think about you.
Yeah.
And I still go through that. You know, some people, it's more effortless than it is for others. Like some people just like genuinely don't give a fuck what you think about them.
Yeah.
I'm not that guy.
Yeah.
You know, but I do challenge myself, and I have come a long way with being authentic, opening my heart. And even if it makes me look silly, like I try to put out content that makes me look a little bit silly because I want people to see my true colors.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think to myself, what's the content that I would want to leave behind when I die? Like I want people to know, I want people to play this video on my funeral. Like I'm showing my heart, I'm showing my true colors. Like, that's kind of how I think about it now.
But you also did a lot of video before, like you worked for Fight Camp, you've done like thousands of videos, and then you did that also before Fight Camp, and now you're doing even more now.
Yeah.
So you do have a little bit of background, but if you were to start again before Fight Camp, before you had this exposure, how would you do it? The same way? You would just like record it, like what would be the trick you would make to make you record more video more naturally?
Well, I watched firsthand my coworker Jess from the Midwest. From Fight Camp, Jessica Evans.
Yeah.
She's an incredible coach. And when she started at Fight Camp, she had 8,000 followers. Okay.
Yeah.
She grew her following up to like 300,000 followers right now. And she did it organically.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so she dusted all of us by far. She outgrew all the opportunities that she had while working at Fight Camp.
Yeah. That's crazy.
It's amazing on her own.
Yeah.
And I learned a lot from her. And it's really posting every day. It's mixing up your content. It's paying attention to the trends, the trending audio, the trending videos, and just being consistent with it. And also engaging with your following, like we were talking about. When people comment back, like their stuff. Like she's on it all day, every day.
Yeah.
And the amount of opportunities and paid deals that she gets, it's unbelievable.
That's what I say to all my clients all the time. Like they have a huge following, but they don't message those people. Like if you have a big following, you should just like send them a message, thank them for the follow, and just start a conversation with them and see where it goes.
I think that's great advice because I'm so focused on getting new clients.
Yeah.
That I could spend some more time talking to my current clients or followers.
Because I'm sure she did that every morning, send a few messages here and there, and then you talk with some people, and I'm sure she got clients from that. And when you talk to your audience, they tend to talk about you too. So sometimes you get referrals or people follow you from that person.
It's facts.
So a lot of people you have in your following and they're kind of dead because they don't see you anymore in your story or in their feed. But as soon as you send them a message, you get back top of mind. And now the algorithm also rewards you for that because you get more exposure. They share your content. Maybe at least they watch it. So it's really good to always talk with those people. And if you have 1,000 or 10,000 people, for sure, you have at least 10% of them. Those could be clients that are following you.
It's a good point.
Yeah. So do you, so all those people that you don't text them, or they just say people that reach out to you because they saw you somewhere, do you always respond to them? I have this program available, or you refer them to a course online that you have, or like what's the offer for you when someone reach out to you?
I send them a link for a free class.
Okay.
And they come in for a free class, and then I try not to be too salesy, and I just say, hey, if you're interested, I'd love to have you anytime.
Yeah.
Check out my website. I offer like a founding new member special.
Yeah.
And right now what I'm trying to learn how to do is like, what is my sales life look like? Like, what's my sales funnel look like? They start with a 2-week unlimited for $79, right?
Yeah.
Then hopefully they buy a membership from there. Then hopefully they buy some apparel and stuff like that, but then it kind of dies.
Mm-hmm.
So now what I'm starting to think about is how can I keep monetizing off of this member and keep them engaged, right? Is it workshops? Is it online coaching? Is it nutrition?
Mm-hmm.
Is it, there's all these different layers that I need to add on to.
Yeah. So now you have, what's the offer you have? You have like your normal training, one-on-one coaching with them. You have a course online also, and what else?
I do group classes.
Okay, online?
I do group classes in person. I do private training in person.
Mm-hmm.
I do private training online, where I'll create you a 30-day personalized program.
Yeah.
Now, the next layer for me, if I wanted to scale my business, because I'm already burnt out physically, to be honest with you.
We barely managed to get your spot, schedule this interview with you now.
Yeah. Okay. And physically, I haven't been able to do a workout for myself in weeks.
Oh, wow.
I am exhausted.
Mm.
When the weekends come around, I am an introvert. I can't even socialize. I'm totally dead.
Recharge.
Yes.
Only recharge.
It's not sustainable.
Yeah.
So I can either open up a bigger brick and mortar, hire coaches and manage that, which I am very passionate about. I still want to do that.
Yeah.
Because I love the in-person experience.
Mm-hmm.
And I need to start my own online courses.
Yeah. Yeah, that's key.
And I have been working with Fight Camp for the last 4 years. So that's what I've been doing. I was ahead of creating programs.
Yeah.
And doing all that for Fight Camp. And I'm still doing that for Fight Camp, but that's not scaling for me either.
Yeah.
Hopefully my options will be worth something at some point, but that's not going anywhere for me financially.
Right. So you're booked in your schedule with clients. How much you spend on marketing? Are you still spending time doing marketing, or it's not even your bottleneck? The bottleneck is just your time.
I do a post a day. Then when I have downtime, I DM people.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah. Because when people reach a certain point, when they get too many traction, like the second best thing is to hire someone who will do those DMs, like a appointment setter. You get those people in your DMs on your social media profile, and they do the outreach. They do the scheduling for you.
Oh, having somebody do that for me on my social media handle.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That sounds a little bit invasive.
Invasive?
Yeah, because my social media is also my personal life.
Yeah, but that's the thing.
I have to find somebody that I really trust.
Yes, but that's the thing with business. You have to learn how to delegate and let go.
That's a good point.
Let go.
And I needed to hear that because I am fried.
Yeah.
But I'm in this weird space right now because my business is not generating enough money to really pay somebody else.
Right.
So I have to be there doing everything, which is the same problem that I had when I was running my first brick and mortar.
Yeah.
I haven't been able to get to the next level.
Yeah. But so you reached the ceiling, but that ceiling, many people reached that before and they broke it.
Right.
So for you, it's just to, like, as my coach would say, start to buy back your time. So you look at what you're spending the most time and you need to hire someone to delegate that. And most likely it's going to be an assistant first or an appointment setter that goes in your DM, do all the marketing for you. Like the strategy you mentioned in the beginning, going to use other people's audience. You can teach someone to do that. You just teach the audience right now. So someone else can do that for you. You give them the playbook and then they manage that for you. You get some inbound leads. They do the leads for you and you do the coaching. And now you're coaching, you're booked. You hire someone to either help you with coaching or you take on more people at the same time. You do group coaching more and more, and then you can transition slowly with online also is possible.
I love that. And that my goal this year is to hire an assistant and start doing that organically, slowly but surely. I do think that it can be intimidating for some people because when you're at a place where like you're a small business owner and you're only making really enough money to get by because you have so much expenses. You know, I live in LA, I'm paying for the rent of the gym, I have everything else. So I need to be pulling at least 15,000 a month just to live comfortably. So you need to get that. So then you need to get to like 50. Well, we tell ourselves we need to get to like 15 or 20 before we can start entertaining the thought. But getting there, a lot of people break, and I can see why.
Oh yeah, for sure. But that's the problem. So how about if you're having that many clients that you do right now, how about asking for them for upfront payment for like 2 months of training or 3 months? Like, since you want to do an online coaching program, let's start with the people you already have, ask them for upfront payment, build your coaching program with that. And now you have some liquidity to use to hire those people because you have upfront the money instead of charging by this. I don't know how you charge by every session or not, but you get upfront more cash when you offer something that is more long-term.
Yeah, I love that.
You can do that and then you reuse your content like you're doing right now, build your coaching offer online. And now it's even more scalable. And now you're leveraging only your online presence to get people in. The same strategy you've been using with leveraging other people's audience, but now it's completely online. So you can transition the people that you have right now to group class. That's the first step.
I'm doing that.
And then group class into, you ask them to pay for long term. So you get the retention. And you build your online program at the same time with that. It's kind of a plateau and then another plateau and so on.
The online training was intimidating for a minute, but it's really not rocket science.
No.
I mean, I started a YouTube page this week. I'm just putting up a short a day until I start getting long form content. And, you know, all you need to know is keywords, have high production value, and put content up. You know, Premiere is not that hard to learn.
Super easy. Or you can hire someone on Fiverr that's going to edit the video.
Is that what you're doing?
But I'm going on Upwork, but Fiverr, Upwork, same thing. So it's $30 if you want to get someone. It doesn't matter like if he's living in the US or Pakistan. You get someone in Pakistan, $30, they're going to do a great job if you find someone that's good enough. Like, and then you have your content that is produced and edited for you without you doing that. So you just save yourself 1, 2.
That's good to know. Is you're paying $30 per video?
I mean, it varies for video to video, but yes, like you can find someone for $30, $50. There's people that are going to charge you, I'm sure, $500 per video. But there's degrees to that.
That's great. That's great. Because man, I've been so inspired by some of these people like Sean Fagan, the Muay Thai guy on YouTube.
I don't know him.
He's incredible. And Shane Faison, who started Fight Tips. These guys have built empires. In my field, online. Meanwhile, having all this autonomy, living in Thailand, like, because I do feel a sense of what I do is so gratifying and rewarding. And I fall into a flow state when I'm training people. There'll be music, I'll be outside, I fall into this trance for 4 hours. And I'll come out of it like, wow, that was a trip. But it's really like doing construction. I mean, I get home.
It's exhausting.
I pass out. I have no life. I can't scale. And I can't even go on a date. You know, like, let alone, I'm like, I can't go out and have a beer on a Thursday. I got to get up at 4:40 in the morning to go train all these people. So I aspire to do something like that where I can have autonomy,
Yeah.
freedom, and live the kind of life that I want.
Yeah, but that's the classic kind of problem for coaches, trainer, because you cannot duplicate yourself, but you have to learn how to do it in different ways. And like, like we just mentioned, you can start to front load like the money up front to get more money to then hire people. So hire people is one, but also if you go online, like these guys you just mentioned, they are online. Now you can scale even more with a program or something of that nature. But everything you do is scalable. It's just that if it's for people is more, it's harder to scale. If it's software, it's going to be easier, but it's harder to build. So for you, it's scalable, but you just have to like get some help. And also, I think the fundamental thing is to learn how to let go,
Yeah.
learn how to delegate, and not think that nobody can replace me, because that's bullshit.
Right.
People can replace you, and you're gonna train them on how to replace you as best as you can.
I think that a lot of people watching this, and this is what I'm going through currently, is like, you're in a place, say you're running a little restaurant or a gym in my case.
Yeah.
And you'll have days where you're like, oh my God, nobody signed up for my 5:30 class.
Mm-hmm.
So then you're like paying a coach to be there.
Yeah.
And so you're losing money on both ends. And then you're like, so it takes a lot of courage to bring somebody on.
Yeah.
And I guess my mindset is, let me make sure that I have the demand first before I bring somebody on.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's tough because when you're trying to get the demands,
Yeah.
you're burning the candle on both ends.
Yeah. So you have to make a shift quick, because otherwise you burn yourself.
Yeah.
And you lose the momentum.
3 months in,
Yeah.
and I'm fried.
Yes. I believe you. Yeah. Just ask them to pay for something else, for a longer commitment with less time involved from you.
It's not a bad idea, because right now I'm doing month-to-month memberships, but my peers, my mentors, they all do like at least 3 months, 6 months, or a year, and they have different tiered options.
That's what the gym does. Like it's one year, as they try to push 1 year as much as possible. And if they can grandfather you, they're going to get you for 2 or 3 years also. That's what the big franchise do.
But then you see gyms like boutique gyms like SoulCycle.
Yeah.
They never offered even a unlimited membership.
Yeah.
So everything is a drop in. So their perspective was, we're going to offer a product that is so good that people are going to come back every day and pay for a drop in.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that is a different philosophy.
Yeah.
And my philosophy has been more so on that end. Like, I don't want to tie people into memberships. I do month to month, cancel anytime. I want them to want to be there. I just want the product to be
good.
That good.
Yeah. Yeah. You can do that online also.
Yeah.
You can do the same thing online. Like, because that's a transition. Yeah, you do one-on-one. You can do one-on-ones online, but then you do one-to-many online.
Yeah.
And now that's how it scales, really. And then you can charge like 1,000 when you start, 2,000, 5,000 for, I don't know, a 3, 4, 5 months course on like what you teach.
Right.
And then you teach it once, and they consume it every day. So you don't have to be there anymore. But you have to transition from there. So you have to use what you have right now as leverage to get there. And I think your current customer is the best opportunity to do that, to leverage that new transition. Otherwise, you go the other route and you hire people to do what you do, what you coach, and you're the coach of the coach. And then it becomes kind of a gym structure.
Right.
But if you want to do it differently, you go online, like all these guys, that's what they do. They go online, they build courses. I teach how to run ads to find clients on your Instagram, and then you message them like you do, like your friend does, and then you get more clients in your course. And those courses are usually 1,000 to 5,000, up to 10,000. And then you get them for 6 months, and you teach them the transformation, how to get really good at something, or how to shift your mindset on something. It's very valuable, but it just demands you less of your time, because you don't have to be there hour by hour. You're always there for them. You have a community You have people asking you questions all the time. So you're providing a lot of value, even more so than if you're burned out working every hours. You don't have time for everyone.
Right.
But if you build kind of a community with the people you already have, they will all join tomorrow. Hey guys, I'm having this community online. I'm just teaching extra tips on what I teach you currently. You want to join? And you ask them for a low price, or you can charge full price right away, and they all join, or at least a portion with them will join, and then you start from there.
This is couldn't come at a better time, this conversation, because the last couple of weeks I have been researching different platforms to host online programs, started the YouTube channel, and so I'm starting to plant seeds, and I really appreciate you coming and sharing all that with me, because I really feel like God, the universe, whatever you believe in, is bringing me what I need right now. And that's that, because I know I'm blessed that I know my lane. A lot of people don't know that. So I'm like so thankful that I know how I want to spend the next 30 years of my life, period.
That's the best part.
Now I need to learn how to scale it, and I need to learn how to have enough energy so that I can be the best version of myself for other people.
Yeah. The people I coach are people who have a different problem than you. It's like they have a demand problem. They need to go seek like leads or people to coach on. For you, you already have all of those people. So for you, it's different. It's just you need to use what you have and scale that. It's a different set of problem, but very solvable. Like these people, like I teach how to get them ads. Once they get the ads running, they have this overflow of people coming in their pipeline, but then they have to manage that flow and continue to do sales. Because, sales, you have to do it every day as a business. Otherwise, at some point it dries out and you have nobody else to come at your classes. And that's why now you're burned out, because you have to kind of juggle everything. So those people, at some point, they need to do what I said. They hire an appointment setter to go in their DMs, to respond to people in their stead. And in that time, these people build a course, build a bigger course, work on retention, and hire a sales guy or another coach in their program to help them coach what the people they already have. But essentially, every time you hit a plateau and you need to solve it. But all those plateaus, so many people have gone through those, and it's solvable. It's just you have to know what to do. You buy back your time. You replace yourself, you delegate, you let go, when you find systems to just automate the whole thing.
Well said.
So now that your personal brand and you're working on that, so what is your aim? You're talking about you might want to go in the gym business or maybe do coaching program. Do you have an idea which one you prefer to do more than another one?
I want to do both.
Both?
Yeah. And so I'm passionate about both. I've always loved brick and mortars. You can't replicate the in-person experience.
For sure.
Especially with boxing and kickboxing. Hitting mitts and that connection is really unique. So I definitely want to do the gym, and I'm on the right trajectory to do that here in Venice. All right. Right now, my goal is just, let me get that 150 people that I have in my infrastructure and my email campaign. Let me get that to 400 people by the end of the year. I'm just thinking scaling. Bootstrapping it and scaling in that capacity. With my free time, or lack thereof, but when I do have free time, I need to figure out a system to start filming my own classes and courses. Because I want to do both.
I was wondering, how do you, like you said, like you're training someone, and whenever you want to record something, you call one of your friends and he records for you. What about if you have someone who does that for you full time? Because if you're teaching someone full time, should be easy to have someone full time also just recording that and building you a massive amount of content for you.
Yeah, that would be really awesome to have a partner who was a producer and a videographer who was there throughout the day. So when I have these 3-hour gaps in the middle of my day, we can start knocking out content that's long form for YouTube and whatnot. Because it is, you can do it on your own, which is, again, I've always leaned on just doing everything on my own.
You have to start from there. You have to learn by yourself before you hire someone to do it. But do you put your YouTube link in your Instagram bio, or this is separate?
I just started YouTube literally 4 days ago,
Right.
and I have not done that. Right now, the only link I have in my bio is my website,
Right.
for my business.
Yeah.
But once I start getting some long form content, I'll definitely email blast all of my current members,
Yeah.
post it on social, and add the YouTube link on Instagram.
Yeah. I think nowadays, this is from what I've seen from the industry, website has so less of an impact as if you just put content. Because when you think about that, your Instagram is a website, your YouTube is another website. And now on YouTube, you can have different tabs with different form of content. You have short, but you can like classify your content if it's an interview, if it's a training on a specific part of your training class, whatever it is. And then you can classify them as a website. You have your introduction video, your titles, all this stuff. So basically, you put your YouTube on your bio on Instagram instead of your website, and people, they click on that and they will learn way more on your YouTube, on your long form, that they will learn on any website whatsoever.
Yeah.
And that's how you convert them. So if they want to hire you, they can message you on Instagram or YouTube, whatever. They can DM you. It's so easy. You just say, like, if you want to do a training, DM me the message, the word training. And then they're going to reach out to you. People will find a way to reach out to you if they're sold. That there's no question about that. But the problem is to getting them sold. And the best way to do that is with content. And you have your Instagram, now you're building a YouTube. I think that's key. You really need long form to convert people into a client. Otherwise, short form is just enough. So why? That's interesting what he's saying. But like you've been mentioning, authenticity. There's only way to show that is with long form.
Yeah.
So I think that's the key in building your brand and scaling it online.
With Fight Camp for the last year and a half, all the coaches took over YouTube.
Yeah.
So we learned a lot about keywords.
Oh yeah.
Creating thumbnails.
Yeah.
And editing them with Photoshop.
Yeah.
And editing the videos with Premiere.
Yeah.
It was tedious work. It's hard work.
It's hard. Yeah.
But it was pretty cool. We spent about a year and a half doing it, and we grew the Fight Camp page from 100,000 followers to 500,000 followers in less than a year.
Just on YouTube.
Just on YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's the thing though. You need to put time into thumbnail, how to produce keywords.
Yep.
And that's how people would find you on YouTube.
Yep.
But the way I see that, when you start, you should see YouTube as just a platform to put your video on. Like, it's not even, you want people on YouTube to find you. You just want people on your Instagram to find your YouTube.
Right.
And then it's just a platform to produce stuff and put your video out there. But it's not a platform where you're going to dedicate your time into keywords, optimization, all that stuff, because your traffic is coming already from one place. So you need to focus on one channel at a time.
Well, it's interesting though, because what I was telling you earlier is I found it very hard to build a following on Instagram.
Really?
Well, I mean, I have 23,000 followers, but full transparency, I was telling you that I ran a bot when I first moved to LA. I didn't know any difference.
Yeah.
So I had a friend who was a programmer.
Yeah.
And he's like, yo, let me run this bot where it's going to like people's photos for you automatically that like boxing. It'd be a great way for you to grow your following. At that point, nobody paid attention to engagement. You couldn't even see engagement.
Yeah, no.
The reels weren't a thing.
Yeah.
You had videos and photos. And all we were thinking is we just want to like have like a dope following. So when people go to your page.
Yeah.
Okay. However, that came around to really hinder my engagement.
Yeah.
Because like we talked about, a percentage of your audience needs to engage in your content in order for you to get to the next level, aka the explore page, to get a lot of eyes, which is when you grow your following. A lot of people are stuck. Now, for one reason or another, in my case, that's it. So in my case, Instagram on Swenson Boxing, that is not going to grow. I'll have people repost my videos that have millions of followers, and the video will get 1 million views. However, it's not translating. I maybe get 50 followers. So I'm thinking that YouTube might be a better vehicle to grow your following than Instagram in my case. Because a lot of people say, pardon my French, fuck Instagram. Sean Fagan, the Muay Thai guy, is one of those people.
Right.
He goes, I grew my whole following and built my whole business on YouTube. Shane Faze and all these guys, they built their whole business and following on YouTube, not on Instagram.
Right.
It was the opposite. They went from YouTube to their Instagram.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But you have to pick one channel. Like if you're going with YouTube, then YouTube, they'll go on Instagram. But then again, why they would go on Instagram? Because people usually, they don't know you. They're cold audience. So you need to kind of nurture them or show who you are. So it start with short form because it's just like sound bites. It's easy to consume. Then they go with long form. So that's why if you start with YouTube, they will stay on YouTube. Why they would go on Instagram.
I agree with you that you need to pick a channel because it's kind of like what we were just talking about. You can't do everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So you have to film Instagram vertically. It's a completely different beast.
Yeah.
So people run their whole business on Instagram and have no YouTube, and then vice versa. And same with TikTok.
True.
It's like pick a lane.
Yeah.
Right? In my case, I'm starting to transition my Instagram to YouTube because I think there's going to be far more growth for me in building an audience and selling online programs on YouTube because this is a dead end.
Right. So what I would do first, I will, and we talked about that before the conversation. Start by messaging all the people you have on Instagram. Try to reactivate those people. And at least, first of all, for sure, there's going to be clients in there.
Yeah.
With the amount you have as a follower, for sure, there's some people in there. And second, you'll reactivate those people, which if there's a problem with the algorithm, with doing that, would kind of reactivate your profile because people will re-engage with your content. So it might put you in a green light a little bit more by doing that.
I agree with you. And I think that's a good point that I hadn't thought about. We're so focused on acquisition of new customers that you forget to keep the engagement, the conversation with the people that already know you and love you and follow you.
Yeah.
I mean, Jessica, the girl who grew her Instagram page to 300K.
Yeah.
Every time she gets a comment on a post, she comments every single one.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
So you have to put that time in.
Yes. Yeah. That's why, like people I work with, at some point they have to have someone doing that for them because it's consuming.
Gosh, all I'm doing is like cringing inside because my Instagram is also in my dating life.
That's perfect.
Yeah. No, until I have somebody looking through my DMs, like, what the fuck?
Hey, I mean, people have to date, right? If you have multiple business or you have multiple hobbies, I always recommend keep one account because that's you.
Yeah.
That's you. And people want to see all the facets of your life anyways. So if you're dating, it's perfect. They would see you're a business guy. You're very diligent about that. It's going to help you out. So I don't really care about that.
Yeah.
They still allow you to do your thing and they can also jump in and like do the appointment setting. That's their problem. But if you don't let go, it comes at a price.
It's true.
Scale.
That's true.
So you have to get rid of that like mindset.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah. So last question, what do you think about the fitness industry as a whole? Do you think it's saturated? Do you think it's still a lot of space? Is it still a blue ocean or is it like too crowded for you?
Great question. I think for the brick and mortar space in my niche, boxing, it feels unsaturated.
Oh, okay.
Here in LA, I think oh my God, I was at a bar the other night and I was like, thousands of people walking in that I've never seen. Every day is thousands of people that I've never seen.
Yeah.
It's so densely populated and there's so much money here that I feel I could have a boxing gym and the guy across the street could have a boxing gym. We can both be successful.
Yeah.
I genuinely feel that way about brick and mortar business. With the online business, I'm a bit jaded because I have been working with FightCam, which skyrocketed during the pandemic and then has been on a slow downturn downwards ever since. Granted, a lot of businesses are going through that right now.
Yeah.
Most.
It's the market right now.
So but you have to wonder, is any part of that people not wanting to work out at home after working, now they're working at home, then they're also working out at home. It's like people want to get back to like real life. So I wonder sometimes how much of a market is there for the online training? Is that saturated? There's so many trainers like me trying to do the online thing. But the more I talk to people that are successful in it, the more I think that there's like a shitload of opportunity there
Dude, it's crazy. It's crazy. Like, I like to think in terms of like first term principle, like how many people need to train like every day? Like how many people need to just get in shape, like move a little bit just to stay healthy? I will argue pretty much everyone needs to do that. So the market is everyone. So that's a big market. So everyone, like, granted, like people 16 years old and up, potentially, but everyone needs to train. So all these people are potential clients for the fitness industry. And I believe it's one of the biggest industry, if like of all, I would say.
Yeah, and I feel really blessed because not all industries it doesn't translate online. Like if you're doing hair,
Yeah.
okay, you're a hairstylist, it doesn't really translate as much.
Unless you're doing coaching or you're teaching people how to do hair or you're teaching some part of hair styling, which a lot of people are doing online.
Yeah, true.
So it's just a different angle.
Yeah,
Some things cannot translate online, but you can convert it online though.
right.
So even if they cannot be live with you doing a training, you can be live with someone and broadcasting it to people and showing to even more people online. So in a way, to me, it's more accessible doing that online than doing it one-on-one. And yes, you don't have the same feeling in one-on-one, but you're trying to translate it with someone and you broadcast it.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's what makes me think about broadcasting some of my one-on-one sessions.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
how cool would it be if I'm doing a private
Dude,
and I'm using the time
Dude.
to teach other coaches on how to hold mitts and now I'm working with my client.
But
I
you-
could be live streaming all of that.
you were doing that with FightCam.
Yeah.
That's exactly the same thing. Maybe a little bit more logistics, but hey, the same thing you said. You put your tripod, you hit record, and you train someone, and you put that somewhere. You ask someone in Pakistan to cut it, make it, frame it.
I love that.
Package it.
I'm definitely taking that advice.
Yeah, I would leverage what you have right now and build some content online and do something about it because you can broadcast it online. And the market is there. There's so many fitness coaches I thought too. They make a shit ton of money. And my business coach, his name is Dan Martel. He's a business coach. He made his money with SaaS. And then he went to normal business coaching. And now he just launched a fitness coaching program. He's not a fitness guy, but he knows about fitness because he's training himself. He started that just to prove people that it can be done. And in his word, it's easy. And he's making millions online.
Stop it. Through this fitness app?
Yes.
No.
Instagram, only Instagram, no phone call, only text messages, and people join his program like that. I think the program is, I don't know, 4K, 5K. And he's just granted, he has a big audience now on Instagram.
Is that because he put money into it?
No, like he grew it organically through his different business endeavors. Of course, like he has a big industry and a big following before that,
Okay.
but it doesn't matter. Like the point is there's a market for that. If you have an audience, like online is just insane. You just have to break every plateau that we discussed about, the ceiling points. But I think online, it's on a big trajectory, like it's going up 100%. Like I think online fitness, it's only going to go up. Like right now, there's a downturn, but it's just like because of the market. I think like in the future, it's going to be even more. Where I live right now in my building, there's people, fitness guy, filming their training, recording where I'm training. I'm doing bicep curls and I see them like recording live with me. I'm like, what the hell? But these guys are making money with that because they're broadcasting what they're doing every day. So I think there's a tremendous opportunity. There's also one with a class in live for sure. Hi guys, I hope you liked the podcast so far. Unfortunately, my camera died in the last 2 or 3 minutes, so I couldn't record the last question, but it was about to end, so I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to reach out to Aaron, just go on Instagram at Swenson Boxing and book a call with him if you want to be coached by him. And otherwise, I will see you on the next one. Peace.